Evening. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Alison. Just trying to finish something off, not for tonight, just in general. I'm having a. It's technical. Probably see tomorrow what it is if I get it done. It's quite pretty and I'm quite pleased with it. It's something that I've thought for ages and ages and ages was really, really difficult, but actually it's really not, and I'm quite surprised. It's just a little bit fiddly. I cannot get it in the hole. Nearly there. Hi, Ali. Not too bad, Tar. Oh, morning, Sally. Have you got your toast? Hi, Sonia. Hi, David. Yes, happy Wednesday. Hi, June. Hi, Candice. Hi, Tracy.
Amanda on YouTube.
Hi, Amanda on YouTube. I'll give you a really quick look at this in a minute. I'll just finish this bit off. It involves skewers. That's all I'm saying.
Oh dear. Just tea, already had the toast.
Right. Hey, look at that. Look, Mark. Right, I'm just going to give you a quick flash.
Sweet.
Okay. There you go. That's all you're getting for now. Probably show you the rest tomorrow. I'm quite surprised how well that worked, actually. There we go. Have I crashed? I think I've crashed. Has anybody else crashed?
No, I haven't.
Just me. Oh, great.
Just you.
It's also a really bad picture, which doesn't help.
Oh, I'm here.
Hi, Jane. Hi, Marcia. Hi, Paul. Oh, just me then. I've got a terrible, terrible picture. I can't even. It's just one big splodge. Look at this. Look, Mark, how bad this is.
Oh.
I know.
It's only you then. Mine's fine.
Well, why is mine so bad?
Just refresh it.
I just have.
Oh. I don't know. Amanda says, hello, Mrs. Seems you see me Sunday name tonight on YouTube.
Hey? Yes. So did you see, because I couldn't see it, so did you see my brief flash? Or not? My finger is sore. Oh. Look, I had an accident. Hi, Susan. I don't even know how I did it. I think it was a paper cut. I did it the day before the retreat, and it is so sore. It's a lot better today, but it's been really bad.
Hurty.
Oh.
Amanda says, guess who?
Guess who what? You didn't see my flash? Oh, David saw my flash.
See if you see me Sunday night tonight on YouTube.
Oh, I've put the Wonderland class back a week. Oh yes, because we had to kind of like send out, a second lot. I'm just a bit worried that some of them aren't going to get where they're meant to be. So I've put it back a week. I think is it the 12th? 4, 7, 11th, 12th. Oh, is it the 12th of?
The 12th. The Sunday.
Yeah.
A week Sunday.
Yeah. So we'll do this this book. All you need papers wise, I'm not going to use these papers when we do the class. I'm going to use something quite flowery, I think. So when you open up the book, what you've got here is a photo mat. And then I've taken, Tracy, if you're doing all your fussy cutting, I've just fussy cut a lot of the images, and I have matted them onto black card. And I've just laid those up along there. And then in the middle, we've got this kind of pop-up. Now, I thought afterwards that what I should have done was kind of carried on with my cutouts around here, because I didn't, and I should have done. So that's a consideration when we come to do classes, that it might be a good idea to carry on with them around there. And then I've just added some more of these, what do you call them? These they're like cards here, but I've layered them up a bit so they're not quite flat. It is Loki, dear. Yes, very gorgeous Loki. And then you put another photo there, and then the back's just the same. So we'll do that a week on Sunday. It goes together really quickly and easily, to be honest with you. So it won't take too long. It's not going to be a long class. And on the subject of classes, I promised you a look at the subscription box class. Now, I don't know, there's just seemed to be some confusion out there about the subscription box. So I'll explain it again. But last year, when we had our subscription box, what we did was we had it every other month. Okay. I can see what I can do, Sue. I think so. I'm going to look for something flowery. I'm sure I'll find something. So we had it every other month, and I invoiced you for your kit the week before the kit went out. Now, knowing that things are tight for everybody at the moment, I was trying to think of a way to make it a little bit more cost effective. So what I've done is, instead of having it every other month, I've changed it to every quarter, but the price is remaining the same. Okay, so if you subscribe, it's $29.99 plus shipping. If there are any kits left over, which I'm doubtful about this time, but if there are any kits left over, then you can buy them as a one-off, which is £35 plus shipping. But what I've done is, knowing that the sub boxes weigh pretty much the same when you send them out, I've looked at shipping internationally and domestically. And what we've done is we've offered a monthly subscription, including your shipping, so you can pay monthly. Okay, you subscribe on the website. The third lot is coming out just now, which means that from next week we'll start shipping out the sub box. So you start getting them next week. You'll still get your video class, you'll still get your cutting guides, you'll still get all of the photos, okay? But you're paying, if you're having a subscription, you're paying monthly for your kit at $29.99 plus your shipping. That's why it's different dependent on. No, it's not. No, because it's including shipping. So it depends where you are in the world what you're paying, because obviously shipping costs vary. Okay, so if you bought a subscription later, so you may only have just paid 2 months worth of subscription, you're obviously still going to want your kit. So what I'll do is, where you haven't done the 3 installments, I'll invoice you for the third one, which means that from then on it'll work out. So March, so you'll have one taken April, May, and then June we'll have the next sub box. I'm still doing one-off payments if people want them, but are still subscribing, and I will be invoicing for you those next week. Okay, this is all in previous posts, which I'm going to repost. I'll link into those original posts for anybody who's still confused about it. But actually, in a lot of ways, it's simpler than it was. But there just seems to have been some confusion for some reason. I can't quite figure out. But if, like I said, I think that one of the issues is that if you are not going to get your 3 installments in before this kit goes out, I'm going to have to invoice you for whatever's missing, if that makes, for the shortfall, if that makes sense. But if you've been paying monthly and you've paid 3 payments, you're done for this kit, including your shipping. So I hope that kind of makes sense. Right, okay, so what you want to know is, what is the first sub-box book? Okay, well, I've used, what did I use? Simple Stories, Vintage, Cottage, something or other, I forget. And I used the 6x8 pad. And we've had some what they call bits and pieces made by a wonderful little UK business called Pear Tree Cut Files. And they make these, they're like sort of like little acrylic confetti pieces, and they have made a very special mix for us to go exactly with these papers. So of course I've made a shaker. So this is our project for our first sub box, which will be shipping from next week, hopefully. And it's quite little. It's just over 6x4, but it's quite thick. Okay, you're getting everything that you need in your kit to make this, apart from your tools and your. This blooming camera is driving me up the spout because it's doing that stupid thing again. Every time I use it, I have to turn it off, and I don't know how to get back to it. Right, that should work now. It's stopped doing it. I don't know why it keeps doing it. It's driving me absolutely nuts. Right, hopefully that should stop auto-focusing. Right, so yeah, it's quite a thick little book, but you're going to get everything that you need in it to make this, apart from your adhesives, and it's doing it again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your tools. So what I've done is it's a hardback book, but it's got kind of like a soft spine. And we've got some really nice silky little tassels, and we've got some nice ribbons. The ribbon that I've got, the one for the kit, is ever so slightly different. But here on the front, you can see I've done a shaker, but I've done it a little bit differently from usual. Yeah, Lynn, absolutely. You can buy the tutorial as well. That'll be out in the middle of March, so that isn't changing at all. So as you can see here, we've got these absolutely gorgeous little bits and pieces, these little acrylic shapes, and I've made shaker in a bit of a different way. And I've put some of the shapes in there. I really wish the colour on this is not giving it justice, but there's a really deep pink, and the blacks and the turquoises. I mean, the colours in this are just absolutely gorgeous. Hi, Jen. So when I put something on the back as well. So I've covered some grey board just to, we always leave the backs out. So when you open this up, you've got a book in 2 parts, really. So on the left-hand side, what we've got is a page that you can either just put like a traditional 6x4 photo in, or I've just made a couple of photo mats just to go in there. So that is one bit. Open it up, and then what we've got here is a pull-out with some more photo mats, cut parts, and a little stacked pocket. Okay, so that goes in there. Then, as I said, I've made more of these shaker pockets. So I've got another one here. So I've used one of the cutter parts to do a little shaker, which then lifts up. We've got a belly band here with some photo mats. So that goes in there. I will be including some white card in the kits as well, so you can use those instead of photos if you don't want to, put photos that you're just making it because you just like making books. And then here we've just got a plain sort of pocket with just some photo mats there. I have used my stamps for this, and I've just had a new delivery. So those are in store at the moment. So that's that side. And then on this side, what we've got is a little accordion pocket. And then we've got two little books to go in here. So what I've got here, that's my third shaker. And then we've got an accordion pull out. So loads of room for photos on that. And that just fits in there like that. And then I've just cut out some of the butterflies, and I've just made a little, I don't know what you call these, ring binder type thing, just to go in there as well. So that is our sub box book. I hope you like it. So that's the March one. It's not huge, but it's got loads of room for photos. Yeah, I hope you like that, and that will start shipping hopefully next week, end of next week, maybe. They will. I'd like them all to be out. Well, they should. There's absolutely no reason why they won't be out before we go away. Now, on the subject of that, we are leaving on the 20th of March, and we'll be back on the 4th of April. Delighted to say that despite a disaster with my daughter, we've now got a house sitter, which is good. So the cats aren't going to be on their own. But the shop will be open, but we won't be shipping out, obviously. So those couple of weeks that we're away, there won't be any shipping. I will put plenty up in the group so that you know. But I would say probably that anything past that previous Wednesday may not get shipped. We'll do our best, but just to bear in mind that there may be quite a delay on that. But the sub boxes, will all be out, so you'll have those in plenty of time. So what else can I tell you? We've got the retreat at home coming up. That's going to be the weekend before we go away. So that's going to be the 17th to the 19th. And that is we called it the retreat at home. It'll be the third year that we've done it. And we've got some absolutely amazing scrapbook layouts and challenges for people over the weekend. And then on the Saturday night, we're going to have a mini book class. And we also have a theme for well, David, I'll bear that in mind if there's any problems. I must admit, you did cross my mind at one point when I was getting very concerned about things. So yeah, we have a theme every year, and our theme this year is colour. So that should be fun. We're going to start with our challenges this weekend. I've already been putting a couple of questions in there, but that's usually loads of fun over the weekend. And I'm going to do some country specific challenges as well. So for all you poor people on the other side of the world who have to tune in at ridiculous hours of the day to just try and catch us live, I'm going to make sure that there's challenges at a good time for you as well, and we'll do some good country specific ones. Right, okay, so I haven't finished the other project. I soon, although I can't see that we're going to start it before we go away now, to be honest with you. But I put in the group today about things that we could do tonight, or any questions. Hi, Sharon. I didn't know you had any friends, Helen. I'm quite impressed by that. She must be a very special person. I'm going to be in trouble now, aren't I? Yes, David, there absolutely will be. There will be a kit as well. And I'll tell you probably more about that maybe tomorrow. There's going to be some sewing involved is all I'm going to say, but there will be a kit list. And I put the kit list up for this one today as well in Paper Scissors Story. So if you're not having a kit, then you can grab your stuff so that you can take part when we get round to that one. Okay, right. So yeah, I suggested tonight that we have a think about what we're going to do over the next couple of weeks, and Wendy suggested that we take a look back at an old 6x6 Sunday, which I'll have a look at for next week. But tonight I know there was a few questions in the group about various bits and pieces, which I've completely forgotten. So, can anybody remember what they were? Yes, sewing D. Ha ha ha. I know there was a question about getting the best out of paper and cutting paper. So all I can tell you about the way that I cut paper is that when I'm designing a book, I tend to use A4, British sized A4 cardstock. And the reason for that is because A4 seems to be an awful lot cheaper to buy than 12 by 12. And I think in a lot of ways as well, it's kind of less wasteful, if that makes sense. So I don't know whether you know this, but on my cutting guides, let me find one. I had one earlier. So I had one earlier and I've probably thrown it away now. But I don't know whether you know this, but on my cutting guides, they're always written in exactly the same way. And they're written with the width first. So if you're following one of my cutting guides, if it says 6 by 4, that means that when we put it in the book, it's going to be that way. So 6 is going to be that way and 4 is going to be the height. But if I said the piece was 4 by 6, it would be 4 as the height. And no, 6. 4 is the width and 6 is the height.
6 by 4 is the width or the height.
Unless it's 4 by 6.
4 by 6. 4 wide.
Yeah. So I always put the width first, which doesn't always help when coming to cut pieces. Now, I know that there's a lot of talk about your card and your paper and cutting with the grain and all of that sort of stuff. And I've never quite figured it out personally. I'd like to say that I have and that, you know, it all makes sense to me, but it doesn't. So I've never really worried too much about that. But like I said, when I'm cutting, I always write width by height. Now, every time I cut a piece of cardstock, I'm bearing that in mind in my head. So a lot of the cuts that I do, I'm working out the best way to do it on the cardstock, the most sort of like efficient way to do it on the cardstock. But most of it is in my head. But if you think about the width, I always think about that first. So say, for instance, I was going to be cutting pieces that were 6.5 by 4.5. Okay, now you could cut it. So say I'm going to cut a piece that's 6.5 by 4.5 and I want 2 of them. So my width there is 6.5 and I'm going to cut this by 4.5. I want 2 of them. Okay. If I do it the other way round, so I'm cutting 4.5 by 6.5. If I just say, for instance, I was going to do it this way out of my cardstock, it's going to be an awful lot more wasteful because I'm only going to get 1 out of my piece of cardstock because of the way that I've cut it. Is this making sense? So I'm thinking of the big number first. Hi, Mary. Yeah, I've had a few issues myself tonight. So if you think of the biggest piece first and kind of, you know that if you're using British size cardstock, you know that your A4 is 8.25 by 11.75. So if you bear that in mind all the time when you're cutting, that you've always got that 8.25 to play with widthwise, and then you'll still not get it right. Well, it's very difficult because I do it in my head and it's pretty difficult to explain how I do it, but I suppose it's because I do it all the time. I just think about fitting the figures that I've got onto Right, Mark, give me a size. Give me a size of a cut.
Any numbers?
Any numbers?
5 by 3.
5 by 3. Okay, so as I said, with that cut, I only got 1 out. With that one, I got 2. So Mark's suggesting that I cut 5 by 3. So we'll see how many I can get out of this. Now I know that I can't fit 2 5s widthways because I've only got 8 1/4 to play with, but I could fit 2 lots of 3. Now 5 1/4 I can get 2 out of height wise. So what I do is I'd think about, what did you say, 3 by 5 1/4?
5 by 3.
5 by 3. So if I cut 3 and 3, then turn that round, I'm going to get 4 pieces out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. But if I did it this way, I would get, well, I'll still 5 by 3, 2, 3. I'm not going to get a third one out of that, but I'm going to get 2 out of that way. So doing it that way, I got 1 more piece out of that sheet than doing it that way. Does this kind of make sense? But I think a lot of it is just, it's just experience and doing it in your head. I do keep my offcuts though, because you can make photo mats out of this, or you might come back, maybe you've got like a pocket or a belly band or something that you can then go and cut out of your pieces that are left over. So I don't ever tend to get rid of anything very much until I finish cutting out. So the way that you cut your pieces out, you can be quite wasteful with it, but sometimes it just takes a little bit of thinking. Is there a mathematical way to do it that is just really obvious, Mark? No. So it's just experience, I guess. I don't suppose that's helped one bit, has it? Well, I'm not sure about working it out. I see, the thing is, I tend to do it in my head.
Comes out.
Yeah, but that's because, you know, I'm cutting virtually every day, I guess. It just makes I'm gonna have to do something with these now. 5 by 3.
Okay.
One thing that I was going to talk about, so people were talking about different weights of paper for different things. Can I show you a prime example? When everything's going to fall down now.
Jen has said hinges.
Oh, there's all sorts of hinges. Do you remember this one? Oh, God. Storm. I'm so sat on her. Yeah, she's just jumped up on my chair. Come on, Storm. Come on. This book, when I first made it, here.
Oh.
When I first made it, I made it using thicker cardstock, and it didn't quite shut right. It didn't, because I didn't follow my own what do you call it? My own advice, which is make the pages first and then decide on how wide your hinge is going to be, your spine is going to be. And I didn't follow my own advice for this one. So when I made it, it didn't quite, it got a bit of alligator gob or crop gob going on. What's Storm doing exactly?
Sitting down.
Oh, I don't know, she's being a bit weird. Anyway, so this is, I made this out of 240 GSM. When we had the kits, that was the first time I used the slightly thinner one, the 160 GSM, and it made a tremendous difference. Doing Stormy. It made a tremendous difference. The whole book just sat loads better because the cardstock that I was using was thinner. Now, I know not everybody likes the thinner cardstock. I do, to be honest with you. I think it's about 160 GSM, but it really can make an absolutely massive difference to the bulk of your book. And it'll make a difference to when you're folding and burnishing and the sharpness of the edges that you get as well. So I will say that a lot of it is personal preference as to which cardstock you like, but it really does make a difference to the size of the book. And I think what I'm going to have to start doing is being really clear on resources lists what thickness cardstock I've used, because it makes a difference to the way that the book sits big time. Now, for instance, if you've had a kit for this, you'll find that there's two thicknesses of paper in it. Now, I haven't put that on the resources list because it's not entirely relevant. When I made this, I've actually used construction tape to make it. Now, not everybody likes construction tape, and not everybody's got construction tape. But what I've done is that the pages themselves, I've used the much heavier cardstock. I've used the 240 GSM. But because I used tape to make my book, I haven't covered the cover in cardstock. But if you're not going to use tape, I've included some much thinner cardstock in the kit so that you can just make this book up in the traditional way that we make it up without the tape. I'll go through all of this in class. But that was something that I did deliberately, knowing that the cardstock that I've used for the pages, and I wanted it thicker and heavier because of the job that it's got to do, and because I needed to make sure that it was strong and it lies flat. The cardstock that we can use to cover the... She's going for your printer, Mark.
No.
The cardstock that we're used for the cover is much, much, much thicker because much thinner, because it'll fold easier. I do write it on the grey board. There's a sticker that goes on there now that tells you what the thickness was. If you pick some up at a retreat, it's probably older stock, which is why it doesn't say. Yeah, there is a sticker on there now which says how thick it is. But the thickness of your paper, I didn't quite realise just what an absolutely massive difference it makes until we came to make the Rains book, the Let It Snow. It makes an absolute huge difference. So if you're making a book, and Jen's absolutely right, the pattern paper that you use as well will make a huge difference to the way that your book sits. 49 and Market is beautiful, beautiful, thick. Thick. I think is that about 160 GSM, something like that. That is going to have a really big effect on how your book sits. Thanks, Storm. It's going to have an absolutely massive difference onto how your book sits, because of the thickness of it. So, you don't really even have to consider just the cardstock that you're using for your structure. You also have to consider, the thickness of the cardstock that you're using to decorate. Now, I'm going to tell you this now. I'm not going to wait any longer. I'm going to show you something. I've got an exciting little thing to show you. Now, Storm, you're going to have to go. I know. Now, once we've done this great big savannah, oh God, what's that going off now? Amazon.
What?
Amazon. They outside. I don't know. Right. Once we've done the Savannah book, we're going to be doing something with this paper, which I'd love to show you, but Storm is right in the way. This paw in the air. So thank you. Could you go and sit on? There you go. Right. Okay. This is a world exclusive. I've been dying to show you this for ages. Now, this I'm just having printed at the moment, and the cardstock, the paper that I've got here for this collection is it's on Superfit. This is 240 GSM cardstock, and it's got slight shimmer on it, which isn't what I want. So this is going to be printed up onto a mat, probably on 60 GSM. I'm just waiting at the moment for the sample to come through before I make a final decision. But yes, I'm given into peer pressure, and Jo, who is the lady who does all of my design and my website, who is an absolutely amazing artist in her own right. And I are going to be collaborating on at least 4 collections a year, and we're going to be making books with our own paper. And these papers are going to be available for kids. They're going to be available on their own. They are going to be available, as a physical thing to send to you. Or they're actually also going to be available as digital downloads for you to print at home, both in 12 by 12 and A4 sizes as well. But this is our first collaboration, and there will be a book using this after Savannah. So I'm going to take you through the paper collection, because I've done it from a bookmaker's point of view. It's great for scrapbooking, etc., and I'm sure I'm going to be getting some help to show you some scrapbooking layouts with it. But I want to show you what it's going to be like from a bookmaking point of view. Now, this paper collection has got 16 pattern papers in it, okay, and they are one-sided, because we all know that you can never decide. So this first collection is called Sweet Trees, and I'm going to take you through and I'm going to show it to you. The colourway is really bright, but I'm going to explain to you why we've done what we've done. So we've got wonderful donuts, we've got cupcakes, because Wendy. Now you've got bits here that you see. I think you can see that you might want to start fussy cutting or doing things with. Okay, so we've got some really lovely bright patterned papers. Look at this one, I love it. Okay, so these are, you're not getting the benefit of these on the screen. I'm looking at them and you're not seeing them. But we've got some donuts and things here, and lots of nice cakes. And then we've got our background papers, which are so bright and colourful, and I just absolutely adore them. So we've got some really bright and colourful background papers. Once again, these are single-sided. You're just not seeing how bright these are. It's such a pity. I think this one's my favourite. But we've thought a little bit further than that. And what we've done is we have put some cut aparts here for fussy cutting, or you can use your spelling cut. I think I've got a page missing somewhere. So you've got your cut aparts. There is a page missing. Goodness knows where that is. But there's another page that's got lots of these on, so that you can take them, cut them, and then layer them up. Because you know how I like to, layer things up. And then we've also got the words, so that you can, cut those out. You can use your skim and cut. You can cut round them. You can cut, hand cut them out. And then we've got some images here as well. So, I will tell you as well that we're hoping that the 2-day retreat in June, which is about travel, we're going to be having pattern paper that Joe's working on for that as well. So I say I'm missing a page somewhere, but that is going to be our first collection, which I'm hoping will be available when we get back from the States. So yeah, that's there's going to be a book, obviously, but that's the first one. I've tasked Joe with doing a Christmas one. We'll do a Christmas countdown book, I think, this year with our own papers. But if you go and have a look at look for Jo Richards artist on Facebook, go and follow Jo and have a look at her watercolor work. Is absolutely stunning. And you'll see that Jo does an awful lot of craft classes as well, and she's actually coming up to our crop in Dunston. I think it's June, but I'll be posting about this tomorrow. And she's offering some craft workshops for us here in Dunston as well. I think we're going to be doing macrame and watercolor. I forget. Anyway, there's 3 completely different things, and they sound absolutely amazing. So you're going to be seeing, a lot more over the next year or so. So if there's, something that you think that we're missing in terms of pattern papers that you want, then let me know and we can have a chat about what we can do. I wish I thought a bit sooner. Jill, you suggested the other day that we do a coronation book, and I wish I considered this a little bit quicker, because we maybe could have done some paper for that. But you're going to see, a lot more of our own pattern papers going forward. And even though they're great for scrapbooking, they really are going to be geared very much towards bookmaking. So there you go. I've been dying to show you this since before Christmas. But there you go. So yeah, so that's exciting as well. That is very exciting too. So, anything else that you want to know? Anything else I haven't told you? Anything else you want to know? Anything I've forgotten? I think that's about it, isn't it? I think there's only about 2 spaces left on the For the Boys retreat. Then we've got International Scrapbook Day, which has been put back a week, or possibly 2, because of the coronation. And there's definitely a couple of spaces on that. There will be 4 scrapbook layouts, and I'm absolutely delighted to tell you that the scrapbook layouts are designed and being taught by none other than our own Ellie and Julie, and I'm so excited to be working with them on this. And then there will be a mini book as well, which will be taught over 2 days, which will be mini. So what we are going to do is we'll have the mornings or the afternoons on the Saturday and the Sunday will be the book, and then also on each day there's going to be 2 scrapbook layouts as well. So that's coming up. We've got the travel 2-day day retreats in Dunston in June, where we will be having some travel paper that Joe's going to be working on really soon. And then we have got in October our first October retreat is sold out. The second one is almost sold out. Then we have got the Halloween Day retreat, which is fine if anybody wants to book onto that. And then we have got the Christmas residential retreat at the end of November. So there's loads and loads and loads and loads of stuff coming up. So I hope that's given you a little taster of what's coming up over the next few months. And if you've got any more questions for me, just give me a shout and I will do my best to answer. That's about it. The paper that I've chosen for the boys retreat is we're looking at vintage papers, definitely Garage. And I need to just choose another couple as well. But I had a bit of a fright when I went to order it. And I didn't think they got any, but it's fine. They have. I was just looking in the wrong place. I think I've invested in some more bundles for the shop, which I took to the retreat last weekend, and the ones that I've got left I need to put in store. I haven't done that yet, but I will. So that's good. That's happening. And Jill Newton has very kindly put together a spreadsheet for us, so we can look at structure kits and make it searchable, so that if you've got 6 pieces of paper and you want a book to fit 6x4 photos, you can put that in, and then it will tell you. Well, do you know what, Jane? I haven't got a clue. Sometime in April. I think it's the 29th. Not sure. It'll be on if you go on to my main Cal Summers Workshops page.
29th.
Oh, well, there you go. It's 29th then. And everything's on there. So I know it looks like I haven't been doing much lately. I know it does, but I promise you, it's behind the scenes. It's been quite busy because it's so exciting.
Jen says if he books a holiday this year, and you get a strap.
Too right. Well, you know what? I have been known to put on retreats, especially for people who are visiting or classes. So, you know, it can be done. Right. There we go. I hope, I don't think that's been useful at all, but I hope it's given you, like I said, a little taste, a little sweet taste of things to come. I'll see you not this Sunday. It'll be a week on Sunday. But if anybody wants to come to our crop in Dunstan, there is one this Saturday. And then we'll see you back here next Wednesday, where apparently, according to Wendy, who I always do what Wendy tells me because she's the one with all the good ideas, we'll be updating one of our old 6x6 Sundays. And I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, I might have our next project to show you. Right then, guys, take care. I'll be doing lots of posting tomorrow with the retreat at home class and various bits and pieces. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
Oh.